That's an epiphany from the emergencies, cowhands. Maybe it's redundant, epiphany and emergency together. Epiphany smacks of the old Greek, a phantom, a god, emerging, arising from the background fabric of reality. Emerging, I say, and in emergency, a high-speed ambulance ride is called by some an emergent situation, a sudden emergent situation. I'd bet a crisis. So you think about it a while. What's not an emergency in this life? What doesn't emerge to encounter us from the unknown, from the dark, unreadable matrix of background, bedrock, basalt of the everyday? An emergency, a fast emergency, a crisis. Sometimes call it a catastrophe. Might as well make it an epiphany. I say, from delicious surprise to catastrophe, what the hell? Make it an epiphany. Epiphanies from the emergency. And I'll say this out loud. Hell, I'll take my stand in it. Anything is good raw material for an epiphany. Can be converted from emergency to an epiphany. Prove the hypothesis wrong all you want, I'll still take my stand in it. A statement of reality, a statement of operating principle, a statement of mission and commitment. The harvest of this planting is a psyche built up of layer after layer of epiphanies. A checkered Odysseus life, lived storm-tossed and wind-blown from one mystery and initiation to another. Set your mouth right, you can convert anything, even harm, to capital. An epiphany is an ounce of radiance, of spaciousness, of nitrous oxide and white lightning, smelted and refined from hundreds of tons of brown-black rock ore. Nothing wrong with brown-black rock, but we like to concentrate the good in it as pure as we can and fill ourselves up with it. There's always plenty of that monolithic basalt around. The more radiance we refine out of it, the bigger we get, the more we can enjoy the basalt. Permit me now, cher lecteur, to introduce a fictional character here, a narrative second self, a vehicle, if you will, for this imaginative process. Allow me to introduce Johnny Death. You will witness the hour of his birth on other pages, but allow me to sketch his conception. I left town westward, Pacificward, on the bike one August. I dropped in on Dino late in the afternoon. I figured to chow down, drink some beer, compare life notes, crash on the floor. Dino always greets me thus. Hey, Johnny. A generic like, hey, dude, or hi, guy. A salute with jazz exchanged between urban dudes. Hey, Johnny. I liked it. Parting on the street in the morning, Dino's headed to the office. I'm bound for 2 months of road. Dino, I'm a bum. You're doing the right thing, man. He says it like he sees a genuine career. Wow, maybe so. I start the bike engine, shake his hand, grin. Before he turns toward the car, Dino says, ride like the wind, Johnny. Jesus, ride like the wind, Johnny. That phrase sticks in me like an oracle's utterance of destiny. Ride like the wind, Johnny. For 1,000 miles, I roll that gift of salutation and confirmation over and over in my brain. Ride like the wind, Johnny. Yes, I'm Johnny now, for real. But what's my last name? That one doesn't show up till the north rim of the Grand Canyon after days and nights of visiting with the dead. Odysseus at the mouth of Hades, hanging out with his old man. Last name, Death. In a burst of smart-ass and truth-telling all at once. Nothing more generic, more everyman than Johnny Death. The mortal, universal Odyssean journeyer bent on deciphering and cracking the haunting riddle of his family, species, ontological name. There's a tradition in Russian music, lost in folk roots, made literary and explicit in the classics, songs and dances of death. What could be more Russian? Momenti mori, meditations on mortality, brooding, impassioned, meaty. Mussorgsky, Borodin, Shostakovich, dark, haunting, color-rich melodic lines. Dante-esque imagery spanning the poles from Inferno to Paradiso, songs and dances of death. So Johnny Death shall have his songs. Songs and dances of Johnny Death. Songs and dances of life. Thousands of pages of tiny writing, tiny pocket notebooks, decades of archiving moments, digging through thousands of feet of leaf-thin strata. I carve out a chunk here and there, haul them to sunlight, stack them together, see what we've got. Perhaps there's a change of state here, a transformatory shift from amusement and fictional convenience. What started as almost a joke piled in this compost heap of dream and reflection has somehow cooked, been accidentally sintered in this slag heap, then crystallized, then melted out. A sliver of mythos emerges and escapes from a literary device. A daimon escapes from an apostrophe. Johnny Death gradually become a shape-shifting, uncontrollable quicksilver entity. He is Orpheus on a motorcycle, Rilke with a fast horse and a gun, the Erlkönig on a midnight ride, Paracelsus on skis. I thought it was an anthology, a grab bag of moments and meditacios, but put in a vat like this, and only now, something fascinating, even horrifying, seems to be beginning. In the protoplasmic soup, microtubules suddenly spontaneously sprout from every direction, interlacing throughout the medium, autonomously cross-linking, cross-referencing, exchanging information, laying up surprising complex structures out of macromolecular polymeric strands that come suddenly from nowhere. What happens in psyche seems to be happening in concrete matter. A unitary plasticity, an organic unity, one single cell, a beginning, and it has escaped. Call me Johnny Death. I have ransomed Persephone from the gates of hell, and I am riding. And I am riding. Huh. Yeah, baby.